Hey all, AK here. I've teamed up with Vespers and the Warp Academy crew to bring all of you some free new tutorials and free production tools. You can learn more about me on my website, aktunes.com, or check out my trainer profile back at Warp Academy. Don't forget to click this link and grab the free download so you can follow along with this tutorial. Alright, let's get to the good stuff. Today, I want to talk about working quickly. Music production takes a long time. If it doesn't for you, I'm jealous, but for most of us, it takes hours and hours and hours and hours to make a song that's anywhere half decent. Sometimes even just to make a sound that's half decent. That said, working faster is usually going to be better, especially when it comes to implementing things and finding ways to experiment more quickly. So let's start with a practical example. I have this synth line, but I want it to be more sound designy, to have more interest and depth. But I really don't want to change the notes or chop up the audio. This means it might be a good decision to explore using a chain of audio effects to process this loop and make it more interesting. Maybe even to use some automation which changes these parameters over time. What one might normally do is go for a filter, maybe add some slight movement, and then maybe go for some distortion and spend time dialing it in. And then add reverb and spend time dialing it in. I'm going to stop here because the point is that this is a lot of clicks and mousing and some typing. It's especially a pain if you want to do on-the-fly trial and error. Depending on how fast your CPU is, adding new devices and then searching the library or removing unwanted devices or changing the order usually isn't that snappy. So as an alternative to this, I made my own little sound design rack with the intention of speeding up workflow whilst preserving my ability to get different results every time. So of course, you can download the rack I'm using here and use it in your own productions, but I highly recommend you make your own from scratch that reflects the way that you like to process audio. So if I put this rack in here, you can probably immediately see what's going on. It contains one chain with all the native effects in Live that I frequently use. And they are turned off and folded in. This means they take up no or little CPU to maintain, but are right there for you to quickly toggle on and tweak. So it doesn't save you all the work, but it does let you spend time thinking about the effects themselves and makes the process of dialing in the whole effect chain a bit more seamless, because you can not worry about the browser or typing or deleting. As I sort of dial this sound in, I'll mention that the order of the effects here is pretty intentional. From my experience as a guitar player, I've learned that often the cleanest sounds come from thinking about an effect chain in this way. Filters first, think wah pedals, then modulation and noise adders, then distortion and amp modeling. Then delay, if you're going to use it, then reverb, then any additional modulation, then EQ, then compression. But this is just for the initial preset. Once you drop this rack in, you can freely move around the effect order, which is nice. What's more is that you can pretty easily and freely automate parameters in arrangement mode to make this into more of a glitch style rack, which brings certain effects in and out at certain times. By automating the on-off values in your timeline with the pencil tool. So the rack works sort of in two ways, to dial in interesting sound design and to create complex sounding effects with modulation via your favorite lightweight live devices. Of course, when building your own rack with your own favorites, you can absolutely chain VSTs together, though I find this adds significantly to the time it takes the effect chain to load, even if the VST is turned off. And since VSTs require their own window in Live, you don't get to see everything at the same time quite as much. Plus, Live's devices might not look as pretty as other vendors' products, but I'm always impressed by how good the Live stuff sounds in Live. If you know about software development cycles, perhaps you're not surprised by this either. Anyway, this may seem like only a minor workflow improvement, but I promise you, if you take the time to build your own little sound design rack with the effects you know well and use a lot, you'll be in love with this little production Swiss Army knife, and you'll end up making stuff that sounds good a lot more quickly. That's all for this video. If this was useful to you guys, do us the favor of liking this video so we can bring you more. Also, make sure you click this link to grab a free download of all the files we built in this tutorial. Warp Academy is a huge library of production courses and free tools, synth patches, samples, templates, custom racks. It's an amazing resource for you to level up your production skills and find your chops with legit quality stuff. So come join us back at the site and stay tuned for more freebies.